How in the world are you supposed to convince someone to give you $1,000 plus to run your SMMA agency? So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the secrets that you need to know about in order to actually sell high ticket packages to people. And this works whether you're selling something that's, $500, $1,000, or, $5,000 plus packages. So anything high ticket, in my opinion, is anything pretty much over like four figures, so like $1,000 plus. And this video is just going to be from actual personal experience. It's not going to be just stuff that I read in a book and I'm just rehashing to you guys. This is going to be just plain old experience from my book, what's worked for me, what has not worked for me, etc., etc. Let's get right into it. My name is Bogle. I run an SMMA agency. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to like and subscribe to join the gang, and be sure to join my group, the SMMA Client Acquisition Tips, Tricks, and Accountability. We're 647 members strong, about to be 649, which I approve these requests. And you get a lot of benefits from being in this group, as I post tidbits of information. People post their experience, stuff like that, and you can also get access to my effective cold email script that I use. It helps me get appointments for my SMMA. I even got an appointment with someone who owns 18 kitchen and bath remodeling buildings nationwide. So the stuff that I use simply just works. You can get access to that by just simply joining my group and following the instructions there. And if you want one-on-one help with me, I'll have some testimonials up on screen right now, which shows the help I've given to people. Check the link in the description below for that, and then we can set up a time where I can help you one-on-one. And pretty much my goal for that is just to answer any questions that you have in regards to SMMA and actually help you to get clients and actually get results for your SMMA. So let's get into how exactly do I sell these high ticket packages to people overall. So the first thing you want to ask is, can they afford my services? So pretty much you want to know, this kind of comes with picking a niche. So pretty much you want to pick a niche that is very affluent and can afford your services for the most part, right? So for example, if you're going after lawyers, for example, they can make $2,000 to $20,000 per case. They can easily afford your services, especially if they've been in business for a while. They've probably had $1 million revenue years and stuff, maybe even more. So that they can afford your services overall if you did offer to them. But it's different from like a restaurant, a mom and pop restaurant that may just started, and their profit margins are already pretty tight and pretty low. So if you say, hey, I can offer service fee for $1,000, that might make them go under, or they might just simply not be able to afford your services. So in order to sell high ticket plans, you need to sell to high ticket prospects who actually have the money and are willing to invest in their marketing. So the second point when it comes to selling to high ticket clients is pretty much the discovery process. So pretty much people always think the sales process or the closing process is just during that closing call when they say, 3 magic sentences and the client's like, oh my God, I just need to shell out all my money to you. That's not when the close is made. The close is made pretty much throughout the whole entire process, because pretty much throughout the process you are figuring out what problem do they have, and pretty much how much do they want to solve that problem, result do they want to get when they work with you. So for example, let's say the law firm, for example, they're only getting 3 cases a month, and they're only getting like 5 leads a month from what they're currently doing. So their problem is they want more leads, because they know if they get more leads they'll get more sales. So let's say during the discovery call you discover that they want 15. If they can get 15 leads, they're going to be happy and they're going to keep you on, they're going to keep paying you. So that's when you say, okay, I can get you those 15 leads, $2,000 to get you those 15 leads, then that person's going to be interested, because that's saying, oh, there's this person here that can solve the problem that I want, or it can help me fulfill this desire that I want. Maybe they're already getting a lot of leads, but a lot of businesses want to grow and they want more leads, and they know a way to do that is by just working with another marketing agency for the most part, or for any type of thing. You want to just make sure that you can get that business to where they want to be, and that's either to fulfill a desire, so help them grow their business so they get even more rich, or solve a problem. So if they have a current problem right now that you can fix, that's even better, because you can alleviate that problem. And pretty much alleviations of problems is better than helping them get to a better desire overall. So that is a plus. The third thing that you should really focus on is, even though your prices are high ticket, to the customer it seems like a dirt cheap deal. So let me explain with that. So like I said before, you want to know how much do they charge, and you want to know their profit margin as well overall, because what a lot of people fail to realize is just because they make that amount of money in revenue, they still have to pay their workers, pay staff, and pay all this stuff, right? So you want to see, okay, what's your profit margin when you actually sold the service, so you can pretty much get a good estimation of how much they'll make if you can get them one lead or one or two clients for the most part, right? So let's say, for example, the average case for a lawyer is $10,000 and their profit margin is 25%. So pretty much if they're able to close one case from one of the leads they get you, they make in profit $2,500. So you can, and then let's say you say, okay, I'm gonna charge you $1,500 a month for, let's say you can get them 10 leads for that price, right? So let's say even with 10 leads, let's say even with that, they have a horrible closing ratio and they only close one of those leads, they still make a profit on your service. So it's better just to keep you, because you made them more money still overall than for them to let you go. So overall, that's the key. The key is that even with your high ticket pricing, they're still going to make a lot more profit if you do a good job. So when it comes to pricing your SMMA, you want to keep that in mind when you're selecting a niche, that if they're able to close just one of these clients, how much profit generally are they going to make? Because by that, if you just charge, a little bit under that, you can always say, hey, I'm going to get you 20 leads or so, 20 high quality leads. If you just close one of those leads, then you'll be able to make a profit. And then make sure you also say, with one lead, a business like yours that has been in business for a while, you probably closed a lot of leads before in the past. So you can probably, close even more leads if you have a good lead to close ratio. So let's say for that same example, you get them 20 leads, they're able to close 5 of them. That's, $10,000 in profit they made from your $1,500 service. Are they going to keep you? Heck yes, they're going to keep you. And that's something that you have to sometimes just detail out with the customer. You don't want to say it, you want to ask questions in order for them to come to that realization. And that's another important skill when it comes to high ticket selling, is you want to just be mainly asking questions, because it's a lot more convincing if a customer thinks of this than if you tell them, what to expect here. So for example, in this case, you can say, okay, so you told me that your profit margin is, 25%, and the average case you close is $10,000, right? Is it correct? Then you can say, okay, so if you close one of these deals, how much would you make? He's like, oh, I would make $2,500. So if I get you 20 leads, how many of them do you think you can close? And then, the business owner's probably gonna be like, oh, okay, I'd probably close like, 5 or 6 of them. And then you can be like, okay, so I charge $1,500 a month. If you say you can close 5 or 6 of them, how much money is that overall? And then you might have to do some math, be like, oh, I would make $10,000 in profit, and all it would cost you is $1,500. And then there's like, oh wow, that's such a no-brainer to go with the service. You want to make sure that even with the amount that they're spending, they're going to make, twice, 3 times, 4 times as many if they overall take your service overall. Now that they know, okay, I can make a lot more money with working with you, it's not the point of, okay, can you actually do what you say that you're gonna do? So it's like, can you actually get me the results that you say you're going to get me. And this is when, you know, the testimonials, this is when your experience, this is when all of that comes into play. You show them the testimonials, you say case studies of, hey, I was able to get this person this result, and et cetera, et cetera. So that way they know that, okay, this person could actually get me those results. If you don't have any testimonials, if you don't have any case studies, that's fine. You can do this next point I'm gonna say, or you can say, hey, you know, I work with the top strategists overall who actually have gotten these people results. Make sure you actually do work with them, or that you do know someone who you can ask questions to, like whether in the group or whether somewhere else that you know, or you do know the strategies that people have done to get those types of results for people. You can say something like that. That is not as strong as your own results, but it is better than, you know, saying, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna get you those results, right? So that is one thing you can say. And then the next point, which I think is a really good icing on the cake, which not a lot of people do, I don't know why people don't teach this, is by having a results-based guarantee. So I say this a lot in my videos, but pretty much if you have a results-based guarantee, that's just saying, that's putting a lot more of the pressure on you. So you can say, hey, if I don't get you the results that I promise you, then I will give you back, you know, all your money, or I'll give you back my digital marketing management fee, etc., etc. With the results-based guarantee, it pretty much just takes the burden off the client's shoulder, because if the client doesn't get any leads from you, if you say you can get them leads and the client doesn't actually get any leads, what happens a lot of the time is, you know, most marketing agencies don't have that. They just say, hey, I'm going to do the best that I can, and hopefully you'll get leads for the most part, right? And to the business owner, that's a huge risk on that, because the business owner doesn't really have any control over the marketing, what the marketing agency does. If the marketing agency doesn't know what they're doing, and then when they come up with no leads, the marketing agency's like, oh, oopsie, sorry, we couldn't get you any leads for what we were doing. Let's try again next month. Just pay me again. And then the business owner is going to be frustrated, and, you know, they're going to lose, and then they're going to cut ties with the client. But what I say a lot in my videos is, you know, overall, who really lost in the situation? Yeah, the marketing agency lost a client, but they still got paid for that work. The business owner paid for that work, but they didn't get the results back. So they didn't get what they want when they actually paid. And overall, the business owner lose. If you do results-based guarantee, however, you know, if things actually don't work out, you're the one who ends up losing overall, because you have to give back the money, but the business owner doesn't lose. But you know, that's why a lot of businesses offer, you know, 100% satisfaction guaranteed or your money back, because that's going to be the thing that convinces the business owner to actually give you that large sum of money in order to actually do the service for you, because you're offering a results-based guarantee, and you're also hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribing, because that is another key when it comes to getting high ticket sales. So after you hit the like button, just offering the results-based guarantee, or just some sort of money back guarantee in general, will make the business owner feel at ease that you're gonna be able to get them the results. And last thing that you can do is just by formulating your pricing structure. I don't recommend you do like a pay per commission, but you can do, and with my first client, I did do a pay per lead type of thing, where they paid for the leads up front, and then I would do the services. If I don't get them those leads, give them the money back for the most part. So you can set up your agency pricing like that. But the dangerous part here is that, you know, if you charge like, you know, $100 or $150 per lead, and the lead doesn't turn up to be anything, you know, the client's gonna feel like they wasted $100 overall, rather than if you just say like, hey, you can expect, you know, 12 to 25 leads. As long as they get at least 12 leads, they don't feel like they lost money from that. That's pretty much with my first client, that's what I did. But, you know, when some of the leads don't show up, it's kind of like, oh, I just shelled out $100 just for something that didn't really work for me, right? And overall, that could just, you know, you're gonna have to explain to the customer every single time, you know, every time that lead doesn't close, or every time that lead, you know, doesn't even set up an appointment with them, of like why they shelled out $100. When you can just say, hey, just let's do $1,000, expect around 10 to 15 leads, then you get them the 10 to 15 leads, and you know, they don't feel, you know, that one lead, they lost a lot of money with one lead, because they know that you're gonna get more with your services, and they don't feel that you're counting down on them. You can say that minimum, guaranteed 10 leads, and that'll get you more leads overall. You can set up or do something like that. That would actually probably work even better. So that way they have like a minimum expectation. But, and if you don't reach that expectation, that's on you, and then you might have to give them back their money. But overall, when it comes to doing business, you should be able to get results for the clients. You can't just say all these like, magical things, get the money, and then just not get them the results. That's not how business works for the most part. High ticket selling, even though it is high ticket, the business owner should be able to make 2 to 3 times more on their money when they actually invest in you than they would if they just didn't invest in anything else for the most part, right? So pretty much just because you're selling like a $5,000 package, the business owner is going to expect and should make, like $15,000. And that's when it comes to choosing, affluent niches where, closing one deal makes them, $5,000 profit, because it's a lot easier when you choose an affluent niche to get them, 10 leads, and then they close one of the leads and make all that money back, than what it is to choose a not affluent niche. And then you get them results, they're able to close some people, but overall, since you charge such a high price, they're not gonna be able to pay you, or they're not gonna make their money back. And then overall, it's just gonna be a stale relationship, and it's not gonna last long, and they're gonna cut you off anyway, because even if they are closing clients and they are making money, it's not enough to cover your marketing charge. Overall, you just want to take off as many risks as possible. You want to show pretty much that the business owner is going to make a lot more money when you do this. And then at that point, it pretty much becomes a no-brainer to them to actually sign on with you. If you want specific, sales hacks or like tips, strategies that I use, like for example, when I negotiate, like, I say I lower the price by 10%, then I lower the price by like 2%, or like, like little hacks like that. Be sure to leave a comment below if you want like, kind of like hacks and tips and tricks. But that's pretty much the overall high ticket closing sales process. So be sure to click on the video I have up there so you can, book appointments without cold calling, and you can actually get this far and actually start closing clients, from the appointments you set from like this. So I'll see you guys in that video. Take care.